right, keep that enthusiasm going. Next gentleman, very funny, talented guy. I know you guys are going to enjoy him. Please welcome the Richard Gere of comedy, Mark Perry. Give him a nice hand.
Hello. For Halloween, I dressed up as an 18-year-old black girl. Siobhan, as I named her, was a well-endowed young woman who had found a discount Richard Gere costume at the Value Village. So Siobhan and I got on a bike and we went to a circus show where I met a woman who was dressed as Charlie Chaplin. She had a fake mustache, I hope, a bowler, walking stick. She was cute as a bug. And she asked me, says, what's your costume? As if it wasn't obvious. So I said to her, well, I'm Siobhan, and I'm dressed as Richard Gere impersonating a bike courier. And I'll tell you, I'm really liking being a middle-aged white guy because the privileges are just fantastic. I mean, I go into the corner store and Mohammed says to me, good evening, sir. How may I help you? And the bathrooms are awesome. There's never a lineup. So at the intermission, Charlie and I went to the bathrooms. There was a huge lineup to the women's room. So I said, I'm going to sneak into the men's. And I reported back to her that the urinals are kind of tricky, frankly, and there's no tampons. Could you spare one? I sent her a Facebook friend request, and I cited your tampon buddy. Hasn't gotten back to me yet. She lives in Sarnia, and maybe they don't have Facebook out there. I don't know. I met a Korean guy who was cycling across Canada, and it was late at night, it was raining, it was really miserable, and he was looking for a place to camp at the corner of Church and Bloor. He was looking at a map of Canada thinking, oh, I can get to Algonquin Park tonight. So, trying to look as heterosexual as possible, which is a challenge, I know, I said to him, do you want to come back to my place? The next day, he wanted to see the sights a bit, so I drove him to Queen's Park, and he gave me his camera and said, oh, take my picture in front, please take my picture. And I was doing this, and I thought, this is a really ugly photo. You know, why do tourists always do this? You know, it's like, you have like some fabulous site, Queen's Park is okay, I suppose, and there's always you in front of it. You're gonna wind up at home, you know, it's like where you've told everyone you're going to Canada, you're told, you know, your Facebook status says, I'm in Canada, eh? And you're gonna wind up with a photo album of me standing in front of shit. So I did a little internet research, by which I mean, I looked at some porn. And I found a video of that showed a gymnasium, and in it there was about 300 couples copulating. And they were all in the same position, the women on top of the men, and there was no clothing around, there was no distractions, it was just like all facing the camera and all sort of at the same moment in their fucks too, which was like quite a feat of coordination. It was quite breathtaking. But there was no clue as to what the heck was going on here, and you had to wonder, it's like, is this sex ed class? Are they rehearsing an opening routine for the Olympics? Maybe a Broadway show? But at that moment I understood my Korean friend, because if I'd been in that gymnasium, I'd be giving my camera to some guy and saying, could you take my picture in front of this? They'll never believe this shit back in Toronto. Oh yes. I was smoking pot with some people. I'm not bragging. I do this. I have people. And the woman opposite me said to the guy standing next to me, he said, Paul! Hey, Paul! You used to do vaginas? Why'd you stop? And Paul said, it's so complicated. I just didn't know what to do with all that stuff. And it got me to thinking that there should be a manual for vaginas. And it'd be a 3-ring binder so that you could put in the frequent updates that are always coming at you. There'd be a pocket in the back for interactive DVDs, scratch and sniff cards. A board game patterned after Where's Waldo? But face it, guys, we never read the manuals, do we? We get a new toy, say Xbox. We plug it in, we start playing with it, fiddling with the knobs, tweaking the buttons. Ooh, that's fun. Ooh, that's kind of cool. And before you know it, the trolls have ganged up and killed the fairy princess. And you have to start over from scratch. And by scratch, I mean foreplay. Maybe even a dinner and a date. So, as software engineers always say, RTFM guys, read the fucking manual. That's been my time. Thank you very much.